Non-union of the scaphoid bone, if left for long time, can lead to degenerative arthritis of the scaphoid. Now, this particular pathology is called as a snack wrist, that is scaphoid non-union advanced collapse. So, this is a common occurrence after scaphoid fracture due to a poor blood supply in the scaphoid bone. So, what happens is when there is a scaphoid fracture, we need to immobilize this patient for a long time so that the healing occurs. And God forbid if healing does not occur, then the scaphoid bone may go into either non-union or occasionally there may be a AVN of the proximal fragment as well. So these becomes difficult cases to treat, and if these are not treated for long time, then you have this problem of snack wrist. Now these patients will present with pain in the wrist, tenderness in the region of the scaphoid fossa, difficulty in forming a grip, decreased grip strength, swelling in the area of the wrist, and inability to do pincer and grip work with the wrist. So this whole spectrum of syndrome is called as a snack wrist syndrome, scaphoid non-union advanced collapse. Now this is a difficult problem to address, but if we grade it properly and if we know the concepts, we will be able to treat it. So initial phase, you grade it as stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1 is basically very early arthritis at the level of radial styloid and initial part of the scaphoid, the radialmost part of the scaphoid. The type 2 is a little bit of arthritis at the level of scaphoid and the radial joint, so radio scaphoid joint. And then you may have arthritis at the level of the scaphoid and the capitate. So it is a gradually progressive disease. Now, what are the treatment modalities? In very early stages, like stage 1, you can do a basic procedure like radial styloidectomy and removal of the nerve endings of the dorsal capsule, that is called as a PIN neurectomy. So, occasionally you can do that. But the most classical procedure which is helpful and which has got the best result is called as a scaphoid excision and a 4-corner fusion. A scaphoid excision includes you need to excise both the fragment of the scaphoid. You can do it either piecemeal or together, and then you fuse all the other bones of the scaphoid, that is the lunate, capitate, and the tripetrum. So we make it a block. So that is called as a 4-corner fusion. And these can be done with either using a plate, which is usually not available in India. So in India, we commonly use SCS screws or Herbert screws to fuse these bones. So what happens is the scaphoid is excised and rest of the carpal bones will move as a unit. So this procedure preserves the motion of the wrist to about 60%. So about 60% of the wrist extension flexion will be there, and the grip strength will be restored to about 80%. So this is better than the other two options which are available. The other thing that you can do is what is called as a proximal row carpectomy. But what it does is you remove all the proximal carpal bones. So you remove the scaphoid, lunate, then that leads to a shortening and reduced grip strength and motion. So the pain is not that much relieved and the function is also hampered. So compared to proximal row carpectomy, you get better results with a proximal with a scaphoid excision and a 4-corner fusion surgery. Now, as far as the surgery is concerned, it is done with the dorsal incision in between the 3rd and 4th compartment, and we approach the dorsal compartment. We remove the PIN nerve, so that is called as a PIN neurectomy. So you remove the uppermost part, dorsalmost part of the nerve, that is one, and then we approach the shoulder, the wrist joint with a radial base flap. So we remove the capsular flap like this, expose the scaphoid joint, remove the scaphoid piecemeal or in block, total scaphoid you need to remove, and then you decorticate the other cartilages. So you remove the cartilage in between the lunate and the capitate and the other carpal bones, and then you pass 3 screws or SCS screws correcting the DC deformity. So basically what happens is there will be a DC deformity in these cases because this snack wrist will lead to DC deformity. That means the scaphoid will go into flexion and the lunate will go into extension. So you need to correct the extension of the scaphoid and put screws through that. Okay, so that way you will get the best possible results in these bad cases, which are chronic and neglected cases. Any questions?
So DC full form.
This is dorsal intercalated segmental instability. It's an intercarpal instability in which the lunate, normally the lunate is like a moon. So it is like this. In DC it will move like this, and in BC it will move like this. So the carpal, the lunate bone is centralized. If the lunate bone is centralized volarly, it is VC, and if it is like this, it is DC. So it is based on the carpal bone.
So how will I identify the nerve endings of PI?
So when you approach it dorsally, it is just above the bone. So just above the bone in this region, there will be the nerve ending of the posterior interosseous nerve, and it is a capsular branch of the PI, and it's the pain receptors. So if you remove the nerve, the pain in the wrist joint will decrease. So this is do you do it in the approach only, but it will also help in the relief of pain. Okay, which patient?
Recently, वो
बड़ौदा।
हाँ yes
बड़ौदा।
बड़ौदा वाली।
ठीक है, सेम